Hello, this is Bob. I'm going to give you some more information as we get started on backtesting in Chartsmart. And remember, you can go to chartsmart.com and take your 30-day free trial anytime. What we're going to do is go into the filter menu, and what I've done is I've taken the personal group of filter sets too. And as you know, if you've used Chartsmart, you can click this button and you can see there's various groups, and in each of these groups you put your filter sets. For example, all stocks that are at 52-week lows showing weakness, or so on. Okay, now I'm going into this area because there's nothing here. So basically we have to make some filter sets in order to backtest them and compare them. So what I found is it's good to start with like a template and of stocks that you like, so you don't have to put the criteria in for each set. Yet you want them to be kind of similar in the sense that they have the same pool of exchanges and conditions like activity and so on. So I'm going to add a new filter set, and I'm just going to call it all template. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to say, well, okay, I just want to look at New York and NASDAQ companies, bigger companies, Toronto and Amex. Okay, now I'm going to look at ones that are, say, over let's say $10, or let's say $5. Well, let's say 10. And under given that a lot of stocks are, well, we'll go 2,000, since I think some stocks like Amazon and so on have gone up a lot. So if we were to run that as a basic template, we would get 5,000 companies out of about 12,000. And I think actually I've excluded the ETFs here. I'm just going to go into display, and I have excluded them. And I think in the backtesting you can choose to exclude ETFs. One problem with ETFs is if you're backtesting and a lot of them are the same, for example gas or whatever, then they're going to skew the rate of returns. So in this case I'm going to leave that on. Okay, so let's also look at let's say we want them to be fairly active. We'll say that we want them to trade at least 95% of the last 30 days, which is pretty well every day, which is fair. And so you can see we're building a template. So now what we can do is use this template and then add add additional screening criteria. So we're dealing with this base. Now the reason why I'm doing this video is to make this process simpler. By the way, another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to exclude warrants, rights, and preferreds in Canadian companies. Okay, so we've got this pool of companies that's 3,800 now. Okay, and we want to run backtesting comparisons on this. So we might have 10 or 20 screens, but let's just do maybe 3 screens that we think we might want to compare. So what I wanted to show you was this export option, and in here you can go down to export, and you can for example take the one that's highlighted, which is all template, and I can export the settings that I've done or the criteria so far to a text file. So we're just going to call that template. Okay, and I don't think you can have spaces in here, so we won't do that. So whatever name, so there we've got a template. So what we can do now is we can make new filter sets with that template. So I could say I'm going to import that template into a new one, and I'll call it let's say 3 days down in a row. Okay, and I think in a row. Okay, so we've added that. Now what we've got, so we click on that, we look at the criteria, they're the same criteria, okay, as the other one. So it's like our base, it's like our soup stock, and now in each they've all got the same base, the soup stock, but we're going to add different flavors to each one. And in this case, the 3 days down in a row, what we'll do is we'll go to price, and I think there is a a screen for something like that. It doesn't matter. I'm kind of here we can go tick price down 3 days in a row. Okay, and we could combine that, and we could also say that it's supposed to be near a 10-week low. Okay, we could say that it's within 20% of the 10-week low. So we could rename that and also add that to the name, so we know 10-week low. Okay, now let's add another one, and what we can do is go back to our export and import another one. We select that template, and we'll call this one candlestick. I don't know which one, but we'll just take one. There's some basic ones in here, but in the Use Specify tab, you can actually find some pretty sophisticated candlestick screens there. I think this is under Tech. There's a couple in here. Let's take a bullish one, since we're looking for stocks that are up, and we'll go with this piercing line. And I honestly don't know exactly what it is, but there's the formula. Okay, so what we've got now is we've got a template which represents the universe, and the universe being all the stocks, and we'll see how these two screens compare to that. Okay, so really what I was trying to show you is how to use this export function to look for new ones. And you know what, I'm going to add one more. I'm going to, just to make it, so we're going to go export, and we're going to go make sure that's the one up there, and we're going to go MACD crossover. Okay, because a lot of people are familiar with that. And what we'll do is we'll go in here, and you can see we got the same criteria, but we're going to go to the Tech tab, and we're gonna go down to the MACD. We're looking at the daily one, so a 12 to 25 day cross up through the up through the 9-day signal line. So let's take that. Okay, so we now have 3 sets. So let's go now. I wasn't really going to get into this, but let's go to the back testing and go to our back testing, our filter sets, and we actually have some selected already. These were from another group, but I'm going to turn all these off in this sample, and I'm going to choose the ones that we just made. Okay, so we go view all, and I think we can go down, and we can go down to group 5, which is where they were, and we're going to choose that one, that one, that one, and that one. You can see they're all in group 5. The first 3 being the ones we supply, and then personal group 1 was group 4, and personal group 2 was 5, because we have to add the 3 from the other ones. So we go selected, and that's what we've got. So we're ready to run a basic back test. Looking at the, I could say, well, I'm going to go from 10 days ago. So I go back 10 days, and I go to the current day, and let's. We've got the ETFs excluded checked off, so I remember we did that, and I don't think there's anything else we have to do. We're just going to do from that specific period. We're not going to do an incremental analysis. I am going to turn on the blue line so we can see what it looks like. So I'm running I just clicked this run back test. You can see it went really quick. And let's see what we get when we click view results. Okay, so what we get is, first of all, the rate of return for all the stocks. We'll click on this, and you can see they're 5,389, and these are them sorted by rate of return. Okay, so what it does is it takes the average rate of return over those 10 days, and you could scroll through these with this button here, and 21 removed because they are no longer trading, and we only want to test ones that are trading. And we found that the MACD seemed to work first, and this one gave a 1.9% return. And you can click on any of these green ones to tell you what everything is. Okay, so if we click on the 1.5, the all template, you can see that the criteria is our basic template. So what we do then is we could go here and we could go view the charts and begin scrolling, and we have to have the daily charts on. And you'll notice there's two blue lines here, and this is going to be the best one of the batch. I forgot how many there were, but if we click forward, it'll tell us on top. There were 59. So 59 companies met that screen 10 days ago, the MACD crossover, and you'll notice on the bottom, see how the red is going to the blue, and that's the 12 to 25 day. And if I go forward, you'll see that it's always the same, and the blue is when it started, and this is to the current date. So basically, we've backtested these four sets, and we found that MACD was slightly better than the universe over a 10-day period. And we could go more into the backtesting aspect of things because you can do an incremental analysis to see if there was a better period other than 10 days. Maybe it was 3 or 4. And we're going to be adding some features to make to do more repetitive analysis of screens for certain sets, so that you get a higher probability of accuracy when you compare them. So that's basically the end of the video. Again, what I wanted to show you was in the filter menu how we use the export button to make a template, and then we can do variations of the template and then use those for backtesting. So that's the end of the video for now. Thank you very much.